Yes, indeed. It's that time again. It's that time again when we have our financial well check. Each and every Friday morning. Each and every Friday morning at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. We hear from Aisha. And I got some questions for her today. I got some questions for her today. So, I want to see what kind of answer she's going to give us today on these questions. If you have your questions, listen. Send them in to me. Send them to her WhatsApp. And I'll read them out to her. All right? I'll read them out to her and we get some answers today. It's time for answers. That's what I say. It's time for some answers. We want to get some answers. And so I'm gonna put her on the screen. She's dying with laughter. She's dying with laughter over there. Like she think it's funny. She thinks it's funny. You know what I mean? So it's either she laughing at me or laughing with me. So I'm going to take it that she's laughing with me this morning because she's cracking up over there. We need answers, and I'm going to get answers today. Yeah, I'm going to get answers today. Once and for all, I'm getting answers. So I'm representing the people. I'm representing the people today, on here today. And so I have my sister on the line. She's on here. Sister Aisha, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, sis. I'm doing
Fantastic.
well.
I was listening to you talking about how you're going to grill me today, and that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah. I'm going to ask questions. We had our conversation last week, and so questions are there to be asked. Yes. And I'm looking forward to some great answers from you because I know you got it. I'm convinced that you're the right person to be in my life at this time. Yeah.
Thank you. How blessed. I'm so blessed to hear that. That's wonderful because we need each other, right? We need each other. Right. And at the right time, God always brings the right person just to talk to us, to help us. So
that's right.
I'm so blessed to be here. So good morning, GL365. Oh my gosh, it's always a blessing. Every time if I come, I'm saying, Lord, please guide me, help me to be a good voice, to speak truth, and to just give answers where possible, and find answers if I have to, right? What a blessing to be here this morning. Thank you again. So good morning, GL365 family. Blessings and peace to all of you this morning. So yes, let's do it.
You ready? You ready for this? First of all,
I am ready. How about this? Before we start our questioning, let me just do a quick recap from last week so that those who didn't hear what happened will still see what's going on. So last week we're talking about protection and family legacy, and more importantly, the proper protection, right? Having the proper protection for your family and building a legacy for them. So we talked about the different ways you can do it, and because there's several ways. There's not just one way, but we try to encourage families to do the ones that will really build generational wealth. Because it's not enough for us to just work and just provide for just now and not thinking about the future, because we want to think about our children, what's going to happen, and all those little nuances that will help us do better, right? So that's what we're doing it. So just help us know that we can leverage what we have so we can have peace of mind and joy, right? And be able to do things that God wants us to do. So we talked about all kinds of life insurance that you can use really to mitigate your loss, and also to leverage. You can use it as a tool to save, to build, to grow, and pass on wealth to your family. And then in this space, there are different types. We talked about term policies, which you can get for yourself, for mortgage, using the DIME method, the DIME, for your debt, for your income, mortgage, and your education for your children. You use that to calculate for term policy. That's okay. And you also, for your job, you have a group insurance that is a term policy, or you can also have your own whole life policy, which is the oldest policy, whole life policy. And then we have newer ones, like I talked about your iPhone, right? You have an iPhone that can do business, that can check what is happening around the world. But the old phones, make a phone call, but it's not the same. So the same thing, there are new tools that have been made, that have been around now for maybe 10, 20 years to help you do better, with your money. So we talked about the universal life policy, the variable life policy, and the IUL policy. So these are really financial tools that are there for all of us to use. But of course, if you don't know about them, you wouldn't know how to use them. Right. Or you don't even know that, I can actually do this to do what I want and to actually have the life that I've always wanted. Like I always tell people that, you know what, it's not the amount of money you make that matters. Some people are making a lot of money, they're broke. People are millionaires that are broke. True. It's because you don't have the money in the proper vehicles to help you really have the life you want, which all of us really, what we want is peace of mind, is joy, is happiness, is contentment, right? And feel like we're giving back to community. That's what makes us happy. It's not just collecting money. So, but these tools really help you feel that way. So you don't have to feel stressed out. Being in the industry now for over 6 years, I really see that, wow, if people just understand this, it's so beneficial. So with that being said, just to give a quick recap, now, my brother, I am here to answer your questions. Anything you want to answer me?
All right. Well, we spoke a lot about life insurance. Yes. All right. We spoke a lot about life insurance, and a lot of people probably still don't understand how important that is. And so my question to you is, what is the right kind of insurance as far as life insurance is concerned?
That's a very good question, really. And every family should ask themselves that question. What is the right type of life insurance? And like I've just mentioned a few of them. Life insurance, right, it's there to protect you, protect the income of the family. Because who do we get life insurance for, right? For the person that provides the money for the family. Because if something happens to that person, really, the family loses everything. The statistics is 70% of families lose their wealth in the first year, 70%, and then 90% second year really become poverty, like go to poverty level because there's no protection. And if we look around, now we can say, oh my gosh, I can see that now because this family was doing okay, the husband passed away, the wife, or something happens and look at where they are right now, right? It's very telling, you can see. So what is the right type? It just depends. It depends on where your family is at. Like, what are you trying to protect? Are you trying to protect your home? And like I said, the ones that I listed, the dime method, is that what you're protecting? Or are you also trying to use this to build money for your future? Right? So it depends. Some family might say, oh, you know what? I have several real estate. I don't need, something that is whole life or that is permanent. I just need something to protect me while I'm alive. Something that happens to me, my family will not go into debt. Because if you have real estate, unless it's paid off, you owe that money. Right? Unless it's paid off. So they might say, oh, I want something temporary. They'll calculate who's the youngest child in the family. If the youngest child is maybe 8, they use that to measure, okay, by the time this child is 25, they're out of my house, right? You calculate and make sure you protect them. So that way, there's independent by the time they leave your house, you don't have to worry as much. But if you care about passing on your legacy, you will buy the longest one possible. So it doesn't matter when you pass away, your family is protected, right? So the key is, if you sit down with the family and ask them the question, really, what are you trying to protect? Is it just for temporary, for your what you own, or do you want to pass on generational wealth, right? Because everybody's different, really, my brother. Some people say, no, I just want to make sure my business is okay and my kids, is passed on to them. Some might say, listen, I want to build a life insurance that will give me money when down the line. So it just depends on what you want. So there's no one hard sell, but there's one that I will personally, this is my personal opinion, think every family, if they can afford to do it, they should have it, which is IUL, because IUL is for your entire life. Of course, it has its pros and cons. The cons are, to me, doesn't outweigh the pros, because the con is, okay, you have to wait a long time for your money to double because it's a compounding, it compounds in interest, right? Right. But the benefits, if you get the right one, because there are different types. Some companies give you extra benefits and some don't. So look for the ones that give you extra benefit that comes with the policy, like some of them come with living benefit, right? And then some come with long-term care, which you can add, maybe pay something small and have long-term care attached to it. And you know why I also like those? Because we're living longer. Because naturally we're living longer. Because in the past, most people die at the age of 60, 65. Now we're living to 80, 90, right? So the longer you can have your policy, for me, my professional opinion, the better. If you can do it, do it. And also, if you can't maybe afford a whole life policy now because it costs a little bit more, you can get a term policy and do a conversion. Maybe 2-3 years down the line where you're making more money.
Is that a term? Is it a term policy?
Yes, and then convert and do what we call a conversion. So you can exchange it. You can convert it from a term policy to a whole life policy, and then pay more for the new one. But it gives you time.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want you to explain to us the difference between a term policy and a whole policy and a whole life policy.
Perfect. I can do that. A term policy, like the word term, it terminates, right? So if you buy it, there are different years you can purchase. There's 10-year policy, there's 15, 20, 25, and 30 years. So a family can buy however they want. So let's say you just bought a home and you have a $30,000 mortgage, right? 30-year mortgage on that house. You can buy a term policy for 30 years. So that by that time you've paid off the house, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now that house belongs to you, right? So you can do a term policy. So term will terminate at that 10th year and you get nothing. It's like a car insurance. You buy it for a certain amount of time. Let's say you say, use it or lose it. Nothing happens to you, then people should really think about the power of what it does to your psyche. Because having a policy, right?
Yeah.
Truly gives you peace of mind. Because then you're free to do other things. You're not worried about, oh my God, if something happens to me, my children, my wife, my home, what's going to happen? You say you know that's done.
Right.
And you can focus on working and not stressing out and not sleeping at night because you're worried about all this little stuff. So that is what term policy does for you. But a whole life covers your entire life. It doesn't matter if you leave, it covers the lifespan of a human being, it covers you that entire time.
Wow. All right. So I have a policy so I can go bungee jumping now. I don't worry about nothing.
It's so funny. I know it's funny. But of course, a policy is there for us. Whatever happens to us, it's covered. But there are stipulations in every policy.
Right.
I'm going to say it right out. There are stipulations, and you want to be honest in the beginning. Do you do bungee jumping? Because guess what? They will protect you, but it will cost you more. That's all. It just means you're a higher risk for them.
If I'm a bungee jumper, right?
That's right. You tell them I'm a bungee jumper, they will go and look at the numbers and say, okay, bungee jumping, okay, it's fun, but you're a higher risk. We're going to charge you more. Are you smoking? They'll charge you more. All these sort of things.
Right.
They'll charge you for it.
All right, I won't do the bungee jumping stuff then. I'm too scared for that, anyways. All right, you talk about living benefits. What is living benefits?
Another great question. So living benefit, it's a new rider. A rider means something that is added to your policy. A policy rider is added to your policy. So recently, I'll say probably less than 10 years, living benefit became a big thing. And trust me, not all companies provide it for their potential prospect client because it's a benefit that you're getting. So some policies provided for their client for, just an addition to the policy. It comes with the policy. And living benefits covers you when you have terminal illness.
Right.
So the doctor say this client is not doing well, they're not going to make it. The company will just advance the money to the family. And that is on every policy, terminal illness on every policy. But now this is a new one. And I think it's because most people don't want to get policies. They say, I don't gain from it. Why should I get it? So the insurance industry decided to go back. Those that have a lot of money, those that have, deep pockets, deep pockets, deep. Decided to say, you know what? Because we want that market share, we're going to give benefits to our all our potential prospect clients. So they added critical illness and chronic illness. So now critical illness, if you have a heart attack and you have a stroke or you have cancer, so the money will pay while you're still alive. While the other policies is only when you pass away that the money gets paid, right? So the living benefit covers you while that's what's called living. You're alive, but you're benefiting from your policy. Okay? And then the chronic illness is when you can't bathe yourself, you can feed yourself, you can't use the restroom by yourself, you can move by yourself. Somebody has to help you, and we call it the average daily living activities. You can't do it. You can't do your average living activity. Somebody has to take care of you. That will also pay. The policy will start paying already. So these are great benefit that's added to the policy that honestly, it really helps because also statistically, right, 7 out of 10 of us are going to require some kind of critical care or chronic health care by the time we're 65. Most of us are going to need it. It's just part of life. As we're aging, our bodies are aging, these things will come up. And the policy can help mitigate, instead of families using the money that they've saved, right? People start to liquidate their asset to pay for their care. This money will take care of them.
Gotcha.
So that is what living benefit is about.
All right. There are a lot of you talk about, especially in our talk, when we had our talk, you talk a lot about tax advantages that we can get. Explain tax advantages with life insurance for me.
Certainly. In a life insurance policy, this what they call, because it's a non-asset class. So NON, non-asset class. So when you now put your money in it,
right,
the rule of the IRS says because this is money you've already been taxed on, right? You already paid taxes to pay your contribution to your life insurance policy. Whatever benefit you get, you don't have to pay taxes on it. Yes. So because you've already paid taxes on the money already. So now these are all the little, people say loopholes the rich use, but it's there for you too. You just gotta use it. Everybody can use it. So if you now get money credited to you, this is usually in a whole life policy. You don't get this in a term policy. You don't get that cash money in the term policy. But the only time the family gets the money in the term policy, of course, if somebody passes away, when they get that money, they don't pay any taxes on it because it's already been paid for already. Okay, so same thing as you're alive and now you've grown your money in your life, your whole life policy, your IUL policy has grown, and now you want to use the money for your retirement, for traveling, to pay your kids' school fees, to pay your remodeling in your home. Whatever money you take out, you don't have to pay taxes on it because it's like they're giving back your money you put in. You're getting back your money that you put in the policy. So that's why it's called tax advantaged. And a lot of people that are wealthy have several of this policy, so they take money in different places and don't have to pay taxes.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I see what's going on. I'm learning a thing or two. All right. A lot of times people talk about life insurance. They always talk about, what if I die? All right. They're talking about death. In this question, I want you to tell me, what happens if I live long enough? What if I live till 99, 100, 102? What happens?
Great. That's absolutely fantastic. That's why I say, you know what? If you have a term policy, maybe by the time your 80 is already expired, right? That's it. So the term policy is over. And we know that most life insurance policy, there's an age where you can, even if you have the money, you can get a policy. Right? There's an age you attain, no matter how much money you have, you can buy a policy because the cutoff point is already done. So no more, because they know that anytime now you're going to pass away. So they won't. You can even get a policy, right? So the advice is, if you have a whole life policy and you haven't passed away, but guess what your policy has been doing? Your policy has been getting cash value. Cash value is there, growing and growing and growing. So now you're able to take from that cash value. You can take out money and use it for your care, whatever you want, right? And then whatever, as you live to 110, your policy is still there because it's a whole life policy. And then when you pass away, then the family would inherit whatever is left behind.
That's when the fighting starts.
That's right. And no fighting. No,
I'm kidding.
actually, you know what? I know, but it's true.
That's when the
Sometimes,
fighting starts. If there's no will, if there's
if
no
there's
will,
there's no will, or there's no living, like the living trust. Right? You
yes,
want to have a trust that spells out exactly what you want. Nobody's going to fight about nothing, because while you are alive, you get
well,
all this in place. You put it in place.
well, they still fight. They still fight, but it's on their own premise. Because some people always fight because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get.
And that's very true. People do that, but I think what I tell my clients when I sit down with my client is, it is so important for all of us to be financially educated, because, and that is how you prevent stuff like that. Because if people are financially educated,
right,
they won't be fighting about stuff like that, because they realize that we understand how money works. This is our portion, and that's it, right? And also, even when you put money in your policy, you have people that you put as a beneficiary. You don't have to tell everybody who's what. It's up to you, right? The way everything is set up. That's why you be good to each other, family.
Live good.
Be good to your mom. Be good to your dad. Be good to your cousins. Be good to everybody in your family, so that if something has happened, they think about you in a good way and want to do something for you, right? So that's the catch. Be good to your family. And then that way you benefit. Whatever they want to give you, they'll give it to you. Or otherwise, guess who takes it if nobody's giving? The state takes it.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
Take that.
You don't want that, right? You don't want that. So no matter what happens, people always find a way to have a squabble. But we want to prevent that by being good to each other.
I'm not so sure if we covered this, but I want to ask it anyways. Can I change or upgrade my policy?
Yes. So let's say you have a term policy. For one reason or the other, you're thinking, you know what, at this time, I want to maybe save a little bit more money, but down the line, a few more years, when I'm making more, I will be able to, do something more. Then we can convert your policy from a term to a whole life policy. That is possible. Right? That's going to convert it. Yes. And then if you have a policy, let's say you bought a policy, you only had, example, $250,000 coverage, but now you want $500,000 coverage. If you're within the first 5 years,
right,
you can add to it. But after that, just get a new one. There's nothing wrong with getting a new one.
So you can have 2-3 policies going on.
Correct. Yes.
Concurrently. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So let me see if there's any question in the chat room right now. One comment that says that whole life insurance tax advantage is great. People love to hear about tax advantages, she said that it's great, and I believe that too. I
yes, really that is one thing people don't really understand, the benefit of having a policy that's for your lifetime, because it is an IRS code that says money from a policy cannot be taxed because they already pay tax on it already. So the gain is there to keep.
Love it. Okay, how do I take a distribution from my policy? I mean, loan or withdrawal? How does that work?
Great question. Just like because of the tax advantages, right? Yes. So you have your policy. Always remember, whatever you want to do in your policy, you give it time. That's the only, I think, con people say, oh, your money has to wait for a long time. Yes, because you need time to compound your money, right? So that you can take money out of it. So this is a long-term thing you're doing for your family. And think about it. If it's for your whole life, it shouldn't matter, right? It's for your for your life. And you're thinking future, my children, me, my retirement. You're thinking about that. So now the time comes and you say, okay, you know what? I want to take some distribution from my policy. There are two ways you can do it. You can do a loan or you can do a withdrawal. Okay, like you say, loan or which one is better? It also depends on what you're trying to do. If you take a loan from your policy, you can put it back. So you say, okay, I've grown in my policy. I have $50,000, but I need to do something. I'm traveling and I need maybe $10K, but I don't want to use I want to just use the money for my policy. You just call, put a phone call. I need $10,000. Or ask you, do you want to do a loan or withdrawal? So a loan allows you to put that $10,000 back to your policy to keep growing, right? Yeah. It's like a loan from a bank, you pay back. Same thing, you can put the money back and the money keeps growing. But if you do a withdrawal, you can't put it back.
If you do a withdrawal, you can't put that back.
can put it back.
Ah, okay. I might just have to open another policy with that.
Exactly. You just there you go. People use that to buy a home, to do something. Yeah,
Right.
to
Right.
buy. That's how you can buy your down payment for a home, whatever you want. But the withdrawal cannot be put back, or loan can be paid back in back your policy.
Got you. Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Gloria said, "I have a whole life insurance policy." That's great, Gloria. Good work. Good work. All right. Let me see what's my other question. All right. How can we use insurance for generational wealth?
How
can we use it?
Key that. Oh my gosh. So generational wealth, something that in our community we struggle with. Right? That's just the key.
True. That's true.
It's nothing. The person, that's it. And then they have to start always starting over. Let me tell you how the wealthy do. The wealthy will literally take their family, their immediate family, to a retreat, and they'll actually have a conversation about life insurance. That's how powerful it is. They don't do it in secret, like, oh, we're gonna no.
Right.
Immediate family, husband and wife and children. They go and then they talk about it. They say, okay, listen, this is what we have, this is what you have. So everybody in the family is insured, every single person, because by the time the child is 2 weeks old, they can get a policy. My brother, guess whose idea was that? Guess who thought about that idea? The wealthy people. As soon as their child is born, they don't want any. They want that child to be a family asset. Something happens, they're protected, right? So everybody in the family has the same amount of policy. So no matter what happens to each person, guess what? The family continues. Nothing ever stops. And then when the new generation comes, the same thing continues over and over again. That is how they build that generational wealth.
Wow. Listen, I always use this scenario, and you taught me something the other day. I didn't really think of it like that until you said it to me. But I told you, I shared the story with you that I heard from a friend of mine that he was getting married, and his grandparents just looked at him and just gave him $50,000. His grandparents gave him $50,000 as a gift. This is your wedding gift, grandson. $50,000. And so the conversation started. This conversation went on that, the rich people, because, they can do this, that kind of stuff. And you and I wish we had some form of rich relative who, I'm getting married and you just give me $50,000, you know what I mean? Or, I'm buying a house, so you decide to relieve me of, $50,000 on that debt by giving me $50,000. I ain't got no godparents like that. I ain't got no grandparents like that. Mommy and daddy don't have that kind of money. You know what I mean? Because we didn't plan, these things weren't planned from down the road. You know what I mean? But you taught me that the rich does that kind of stuff. They sit down and they decide, you know what? I'm going to put this money in because when I'm 70 years old, my grandson is going to be 20. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give him this money when I'm 70 years old. You know what I mean? So if we do that kind of thing and really, really put something aside for the future, and the future doesn't mean necessarily for me, it means for my sons, for my daughter down the road, and a lot of us don't think like that. And so we need to get back to that we need to learn that lesson. Yes. I think a lot of people need to hear that some more and learn that lesson, because we don't know that lesson.
No, and unfortunately, it's true that people don't know this, and that's why I told you that when they have their kids, they go on a retreat and plan out everything. Yeah. And guess what? So now their parents now are older. Now their kids have children. They've had policies for decades. Now the policy has grown so much money, compounding. So guess what? Their kids' policy has money. Their policy has money. The child now is born. They want to have a baby. Instead of the child to use their money, they say, no, there's money in the policy. Just use it. So just give us a gift. And guess what? They give you a leg up. So people keep saying, oh, they're the trust fund baby. Well, your family has to build your own trust fund. You can't not build it. Somebody has to sacrifice. And instead of trying to look rich, be rich.
Just be rich. Rich. Yeah. I like that.
That's our problem. We're trying to look rich instead of to be rich. Being rich meaning you actually have the asset to back it up. You're not just wearing fancy clothes. You're making Louis Vuitton rich. You're making Gucci rich. You're making Mercedes-Benz rich, your family is getting poor because that money is going to them. It's a liability. So, it's a matter of understanding the fundamentals and sticking to it and be sacrificial about it from the beginning and let it take it. Honestly, it is worth every little penny we put aside for our future. Wow. And every wealthy family, the way they transfer wealth, because this was because of the kings and queens, that's how they passed wealth. They use life insurance. It is the oldest tool that has been used to pass on wealth for generation and generation to come. That's what we've always done.
Where were you 5 years ago? 5 years ago, when I needed this kind of information. 10 years ago.
Now they say, okay, they say that there's the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the next best day is today.
Today, all right. I'm planting the tree.
Yeah,
you know what?
No procrastination.
I'm planning my family retreat right now because we're gonna have the conversation. We are gonna talk about it, and we're gonna have the conversation. I got one more question for you though, because our time is running away from us, and I don't want us to leave without we getting the answer to this question. What is the difference between group versus personal insurance? What's the difference between the two?
So most people in their job have a policy. Your company gives it to you as a benefit. Say they use that to, we call it golden handcuffs. So they provide you a policy, maybe depending on what company you're working for, they range between 5,000 to some company 200,000, depending on your position in that company, right? But mostly it's between the range of 5 to 50K for most people. But then executive, they have that extra bonus that's given to them. And we call them, like I said, golden handcuffs. So that is called a group policy because it's for your whole group of your employees in your job, right? And most people some people make a mistake. They think, oh, I have a life insurance policy. No, that's a group policy. That because you are the insured. The company is a policy owner. They own the policy, but you are the insured. If you leave and somebody else comes in there, they give that person that policy. They have to now give. So now you lose. So the longer you wait to get your own personal policy, which means it's self-funded. No matter what happens, whether you work for company A, B, C to Z, doesn't matter. You have your own. It doesn't go away. You always keep growing money and putting money in it, right? Yeah. But also the group policy, they're usually just term policy. So there's no money out at the end. You can build money in it, like a whole life policy. You can build money. Please remember, a term policy, you cannot build money in it. It's like a car insurance. You pay it. They say use it or lose it. That's a term policy. It doesn't. You can't get money out of it, right?
Use it or lose it. Wow. Yeah.
So that's group. Group means your job provides it to you. A group of all of you together. But personal policies, you fund it yourself. You get it yourself and you fund it yourself.
And when you leave that job, that policy stays there and you're gone.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so very much for that answer.
Let me just also preface that some companies, if you leave, right, if you're contributing to that policy, it's called a contributory. If you're contributing to that policy, then you now take over the other portion that you were not paying before, and then take the policy with you in 30 days.
Got you.
But if it's free, 100% they're paying for you, you're not paying any single penny. When you leave, it belongs to them because you're not paying anything for it. It's theirs. They say anything that is free, kind of, free is not free because if you leave, it's theirs.
That's right. That's right. Nothing free around here. Okay, I got a comment. Yola Tucker says, this is really great information. Thank you. I was never really up on the knowledge of life insurance. Thanks again. That's her comment. She's telling us thanks. So my response to her is that she needs to call you. All right, she needs to give you a call because you can help her. Let me see what Carol got. Let me see what Gloria Query says. Gloria says, I also have another one with Bank of America that I am signing it over to all my grandchildren. Grandparents here in the chat room talking this morning. So I put them in place for them already. So I have 2 insurances in place. Thank God. All right, I'm hearing from the grandparents this morning. I love that. Carol Godding said, right now, Amazon's... listen to me, Carol, for real. I got my email the other day. Right now, Amazon stock split last Friday.
I was going to tell you
that. One share, since it is affordable, you are using Amazon, try owning part of it. Yes, I got my letter the other day because I own a couple of shares. I own a couple of shares over there. Yeah. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Because she's here, man. She got the question. She got the answers. I tell you, she's the right person to talk to. And it doesn't cost you anything to talk to her. I promise you that. It doesn't cost you a thing to talk to her. I promise you. So give her a call. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let her know you heard the information right here on GL365 Radio, and you want to know the answer to these questions. Tell them your number one more time for me, Aisha. Tell them one more time your number.
Yes, my number is 626-340-5746.
And listen.
Text me, let me know what you need. I'm here to help. Because, I tell my brother, I said, the key here is our community will not say nobody told us. No.
That's right.
And please share with your friends, share with your family. Let them know that this is available to them so they can make wise decisions. Because we have the tools. Mm-hmm. We need the right person to give us the information so that we can take necessary steps to protect our families. So please call, text me, whatever you need. I'm here to help, support, and give you the right information so you can make the right plan for your family and have peace of mind, joy, fulfillment, and everything that God wants for you. That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And every Friday, ladies and gentlemen, every Friday we have this dialogue. Every Friday we're having this conversation. Send your questions in. It doesn't matter what kind of question it is, because there's no stupid question. My teacher told me that a long time ago, and I believe her. There is no question that is foolish. Send the question in. I ask it. She will fix it if it needs to fix. Yep. But will find the answer and give you the answer to the question.
That's right. We will find it for you.
That's Absolutely. Right. That's what we do around here. We give you answers. Aisha, thank you so very much, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.
This morning was great. This morning was great. I like the question and answer segments. I like that.
Yes, me too. I think it really helps people understand even better about anything we're talking about. It gives them more, okay, I didn't think about it that way. I didn't know it would do this for me. So I think we should really incorporate that as much as we can. Yeah. If questions come in, we'll answer them so everybody can learn from the questions and grow. And we can also revisit. Maybe somebody forgets something, we can talk about it again with more depth.
That's right.
And use stories to talk about each one. Yeah, so we're here to do this. We don't have no time limit. We believe that to do something good, we just have to keep doing it until we all get it. Until we say, okay, now I see what we're saying. Now I get it.
That's right. Yeah. And we're trying to educate the community. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying my very best. And I spoke to Aisha about this from day one. I said to her from day one, I want my listeners to be educated about this information. I don't want, we to have this ability and not share it, not use it. I'm not a selfish guy at all. I share everything I have to make sure that the church is edified and my community is richer for it. I have one more question now. She said, is State Farm a good life insurance?
Oh, that's a good question. State Farm, of course, what they provide for you, it's just a basic life insurance. So you have to ask yourself, do I want more benefit from what I'm paying?
Yeah.
Have I shopped around to make sure that I'm getting every benefit possible for the amount? If you're paying, example, $100 per month, I'm just saying an example, for a policy, and it only gives you this policy, while another one for the same amount of money affords me living benefits where there's no extra cost. Something happens to me, I can get my money and use it for myself. So it's just a matter, if you're buying, always shop in that category, right? Because State Farm is more for house and car insurance, right? When they do life insurance, is that really their expertise, right? So you ask yourself.
Let me give her the answer. Let me give her the answer that you don't want to give her. No, it is not. All right, let me give her the answer. No, it is not. Give Aisha a call and you'll get the right information. No, it is not. She don't want to tell you that, but I'll tell you.
Look for policy that can give you benefits for what you're paying. And people that's what they do. That's what you want. You don't want something that is.
She wants you to make the decision on your own, okay? But I'm telling you it's not, okay? Because she kind of tell me, without telling me that it's not. All right, so so give her a call, all right, Yola, and she will fix you up. She will give you all the right information and steer you in the right direction. All right, she'll steer you in the right direction.
Because while we're here, we're captive to you, not to the product, not to the company.
Right. That is right.
What is best for you? What is best for your family with the money you have? That's what's important to me, not the company.
That's right. All right, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there today. We're gonna leave it there. We don't want to bombard you with too much. You know, you don't want to bombard you with too much. But I'm gonna find some more questions, and I'm gonna ask those questions next week. All right, so keep it locked right here on GL365 Radio. Aisha, thank you so very much for making yourself available, sis.
Thank you,
always such a pleasure.
Thank you. Blessings to all of you, and have a blessed and fantastic weekend. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here, man. It's our financial well check each and every Friday morning. 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on GL365 Radio. It's the Gospel Joy Morning Show.
It's the morning show. It's the morning show. Gospel Joy with DJ Leroy.